Welcome, my beautiful souls and my gorgeous Taurus. Um, Taurus, Happy New Year's, first of all. So, as I was pre shuffling your cards, I was being asked by our spirit guides to go slow, to go slow. Not because nothing is happening, but because what is going to unfold here, I'm being told, is sacred. The kind of energy that, doesn't shout, it arrives, it unfolds. So, Taurus, before we even look at the cards, I need you to know that this energy is steady, it's definitely intentional, and deeply personal. Some of you are going to feel like this is a personal reading, and I love that. I just love that. So let's go to the cards and to our spirit guides. So Taurus, this will be for Taurus sun, moon, rising. Um, Many of you are intuitively guided at your spirit guides, and this is why I read through our spirit guides. And what I mean by that is sometimes there could be like the videos put before you, but something makes you like, nah, it's too long. That's usually it. It's too long, but they need to be long. Um, it's funny. I mean, I guess I could make them shorter, but then I feel like I'm not giving you everything that your guides want you to hear. Um, but anyway, so this is also for those who are in love with the Taurus. But understand that your guides know that you're here, so they will definitely reach out to you, and you can all of you feel comfortable asking your spirit guides to give you signs like of confirmation throughout the reading, whether it be numbers, a name, a feeling, like you, this type of reading, the way my spirit guides are talking, I feel like you're just gonna know. You're gonna feel it. It'll probably be soul to soul. So we are for January, breaking up love and money. So for love, we will open the reading with Mother Mary, for her beautiful words of wisdom. But for love, I am gonna use the crystal vision and the light seers. And then money, we're going to use the crystal, no, I'm sorry, the Gilded Tarot and the Tarot of Dreams. And we can slide these over because I am going to start with love. Um, and then also in love, I did bring out the Romance Angel. So we will use all of those for love. Let me bring the lid down a little bit. Not too much. There we go. And put the crystals over there. I'm going to slide these over. And we are going to open up with Mother Mary. Beautiful Mother Mary. I feel like I brought the lid down too far. All right. Mother Mary. I want you to know also that everything is pre-shuffled. That is when I am picking up in your energy, connecting with our guides, letting them know that I am ready to be the messenger for you. Okay. So Mother Mary. Oh, okay. Prayer. Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring real solutions. Instead of worrying, I pray about this situation to bring real solutions. And I have a feeling that's exactly what you're going to find in this reading today. Real solutions. And then we have children. Children. My heart is filled with love for children, which creates miracles and positive change for them and me. Let me reread that. My heart is filled with love for children, which creates miracles and positive change for them and me. So some of you, I don't know, you may work with children. I know, I no longer live by my grandkids, unfortunately. Um, but I know when when I did and they were around, it didn't matter what kind of mood I was in, they always lifted my mood. Um, and, I get a sense for some of you, this is also calling for your inner child energy. So allowing yourself to be playful um, this month, and we'll see why. I have a feeling it's going to have to do with love. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. Put those there. So we're going to start with the light seers. And again, this is the love portion. Love potion number 9. It's funny. I don't know why. I have a feeling someone's word was like love potion or number 9. And I don't even know that if that's how the song goes. All right. Oh. 7 of Pentacles. I like that. Okay, so I want to talk about 7 of Pentacles real quick since it is our first card. 7 of Pentacles to me is like your wheel. It's like your destiny. This is about planting seeds and knowing that when you plant a seed, you want to nurture that seed. That's how you know it will grow and blossom. But oftentimes, I feel with the 7 of Pentacles, it may talk about seeds that have already been planted, and this may be their divine time, the right time. It does ask for patience. That's its first message is patience. But that means, the patience. Think about planting a seed in your garden. You're not going to stand over that seed and be like, come on, come on, come on. No, but you're going to water that seed. You're going to make sure that if it needs sun, that you plant it in a place where there's plenty of sun. That is your seed of intention. And some of these seeds I often feel are predestined. So we'll see. Look at this, the full. Interesting because literally we just entered year 1. Year 1 of the next 9 years. The next 9-year cycle. And entering in the Fool's energy is beautiful. This means when you see the Fool, first of all, it is about taking a leap of faith. But I feel like everything is telling me you can trust that leap. The Fool is also the clearing of the past. So the Fool doesn't carry the weight of yesteryear. I've cleared that energy, right? I've extracted the wisdom. And all the Fool carries with him is that little knapsack. That little knapsack I feel is like the wisdom of my experiences. But now, something else is calling to you. Something that's going to ask you to take a leap of faith. And I love that the 7 of Pentacles is right before it. I feel like there's nothing to fear here. Cards are coming out one by one. 9 of Wands, where there's that reflection I was talking about. But this reflection, I actually love the 9 of Wands. Because I feel like, first of all, I feel like it's a bold action. This is looking back, but not looking back with judgment. This is really looking back and realizing how much you have grown. Like, what have the last 9 years taught you, even if it was hard? Because sometimes hardest lessons bring the greatest of blessings. This is knowing your worth. That's what I love about this image. This person is looking at every wand behind them as an experience, an adventure, something I took a chance on. Maybe it didn't work out, but I got back up on the horse. You can see this person busting out of their clothes. To me, that is spiritual muscles. And that's why I call this person my spirit warrior. So, doing exactly what 2025 was asking of. Interesting, she's looking right at the fool, and the fool's looking at her. Almost like, okay, it's time to close that ninth year and start anew. Okay. No wonder Spirit told me to um not to rush it. And then you're getting like card by card, one by one. We have the Page of Cups. I often feel the Page of Cups is your inner child. And I don't feel like this is saying, some of you could have been like healing the inner child, let's say in the last 9 years, particularly last year, 2025, it being a 9 year, which is reflection. But remember, a nine means final reflection. I'm not meant to reflect like for 9 years. Reflect, understand, and then move on. So the Page of Cups to me feels more like playful type energy. I have a feeling, especially with the Fool here, this is something is opening up that's gonna, it like I want to say make you feel like a kid again. Interesting. I just realized I don't know if I ever saw that before. This little heart, right? It's like two different hands making that heart symbol. Interesting. I never noticed that before. Slide these over a bit. Okay. We have the Emperor in reverse. Interesting. Card of Aries. And then we have the Star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Under the Seven of Pentacles. I don't know if there could be a better place for it, to be honest with you. This tells you that what is coming to fruition is something that you had hoped for, something that you had wished for. It is interesting that the Emperor is in reverse. And when I shuffle my decks, I make sure every card is in the upright. That way, if they're reversed, I know they're reversed. But anyway, so the Emperor, normally someone we can look up to, but has this person fallen from grace? And I'm not even thinking Aries, it can be, but I do feel like this is saying that there was someone and they may have like fallen from your good grace. Could be like a father figure. But could also be like a father of children, your children. And, when the Empress in reverse, we're not looking up to them. Okay, let's keep going. By the way, the star is also the card of Aquarius. But, Taurus, you have some seeds. They're coming to fruition. No doubt. You have a dream that's becoming a reality. And for some of you, maybe there was someone, um, that, I don't know. I just feel like, I hate seeing the Emperor in reverse. I really do. Because I do realize that even with the Emperor in reverse, I realize that this person has an opportunity to really better their own life and therefore better the lives of the people around them. But at this moment, it doesn't feel like that's their interest. So now we have another king, King of Swords, sitting right next to Aquarius. Could be Aquarius, but kind of forget that at the same time. And the reason why, for anybody who's new, is I give you the signs, but then I don't think about the sign. Because that's not what our guides would be like. Oh, Taurus, you're going to hook up with a Virgo, that type of thing. It's the energy. So, the King of Swords, truth, integrity. This king is sitting on a mountaintop, and it feels like he has conquered that mountaintop. This is probably someone who has done a lot of reflection. And by the way, climbing that mountain wasn't easy. We all have mountains to climb. But I feel like, and then you have this owl, which to me is wisdom. He's got a great view from up there. Under the full, he's looking at the star. Interesting. And we are doing love. So, King, are you coming my way? Well, hello, Will. Hello, Destiny. How beautiful to have not just the Seven of Pentacles, which is very much like Destiny, and then have the full, right? I'm ready. Like, I'm ready to take that leap. And that's all it requires. It's not saying, like, jump in, make a commitment. It's saying, just put a foot in, right? Just see how it feels. And then we have the Queen of Wands. And, I love this image because I feel like this queen is like rising above any drama. She feels like she's in a very zen state. Um, Look at her wand up in the air. It almost feels like a sign. Like my lifting the wand is like a sign to the universe that I am open. And her hand, which is also open, is pointing right to the wheel, right to your destiny. Queen of Wands is coming under the Page of Cups. And, here's what I think about the Queen of Wands. This is a risk taker. This is someone who, if she feels passionate about something, she's going to move into it. Male or female, by the way. This is someone who has taken chances in her life and they haven't all paid off. But she's not allowing what was to affect her today nor her tomorrow. It's like she's got this big smile on her face. So if this emperor was part of her life and maybe she had to say, maybe it just came to an end for whatever reason. If this was in your money sector, it could be a loss of a job. Um, but it would have already happened. But it's in your love sector. So let's see what comes underneath it. The Hangman. Slow down, you move too fast. The Hangman. I'm seeking wisdom on my next steps. This is spiritual wisdom. And it's interesting because under the Emperor in reverse, I feel like some of you may have broken up with someone, something may have come to an end. Um, but the truth is, I feel that you were ready for this ending. You're ready for something new. And I do feel like this is going to ask you to take a leap of faith. But I think you will. Look at that. The 10 of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So the bottom of the deck is what wants to go. Well, goodbye. I love this image because this person was also on a mountaintop. But this mountaintop has dried up. There's nothing left. So she left. She left and took only what she could carry. Because the truth is the rest doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Material things can be replaced. She's heading towards a new mountaintop. She doesn't know where yet. But I'm wondering if she's going to this king's mountaintop. Unaware. But going anyway. Eight of Pentacles underneath that. Interesting. I'm just wondering if some of you, well, we'll see if it comes up in your money sector, but it just feels like some may have, let's say, either changed jobs. But if you did, like some of you could have lost jobs, of course, but some may have changed jobs because, enough was enough. Maybe you have an opportunity now to do something new. Again, the full, brand new. But it doesn't mean you don't have wisdom. You do have. You have tons of wisdom. You have wisdom of every lifetime. And the Fool is really unencumbered energy. I'm going to take a chance. Okay, let's bring in the crystal vision. And let's go over this. Let's go a little deeper. Give him a cut. All right. We're going to start at the beginning, but we're reading it as a whole. So, what is coming to fruition? Queen of Pentacles. That's probably you. Can be another Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. But in a way, I kind of want you to forget about that again. Because let's talk about this queen. This queen is very psychic, very intuitive. This is someone who, I often say with the Queen of Pentacles, like if I had a contract in front of me, this is who I'd give it to read for me. Because she picks up those small details that other people seem to skim over. She sees them. She sees what other people don't. I love these crystals just like coming out of the ground. Oh, I just forgot the name of that crystal. Anyway. For some of you, I feel like this wish, but I want to say wishes that are coming to fruition. And don't forget, even Mother Mary said about a miracle. What was I going to say though? I don't know. Let's keep going. If it comes back, it comes back. Eight of Pentacles. So, 8. New beginning. Over the Fool. A new beginning. Eight of Pentacles tells you whatever you focus on is what you're going to grow. It's like, I hate to say this, but like, let's say the emperor here who's in reverse is kind of like the devil on one shoulder, and this king who is at his mountaintop, like the angel on another shoulder. Which energy am I going to feed? That's the one I will grow. That's the one I will grow. 8 is also the number of infinity, and sitting so close to the 7 of Pentacles with the wheel down here also. Boy, I just feel like there is something that is meant to be. And this must just be its right time. As above, so below. Now they're coming out in chunks. Oh my God, the wheel again. But look at that. The wheel is mirroring the wheel. That makes sense, right? Because this isn't just your destiny. This is someone else's destiny also. This is it's both your destinies together. Man, there is love that is meant to happen. We have the death card. That makes sense. Death card, first of all, it is a card of Scorpio. But death card means that a door is ready to be closed. Now, because we have the Fool here, I feel like you already closed it. I feel like the majority of you have closed this door. Maybe not everyone, but maybe this will help you. If you so choose. But the death card talks about transformation. And the way I feel about the death card is when this door closes, and it means that it's meant to close, its timing has come to an end, another door opens. Always. Always. Look at the stream of divine light coming down. We have Hermit, which is interesting because, first of all, this is the card of Virgo. Boy, you got a lot of major arcanas. I just realized that. Um, this was what 2025 was all about. It was the year of the Hermit. It was final reflection. This sometimes in the Hermit, I do feel like many times we've gone through the dark night of the soul. And it's coming over the reversal of the Emperor. But the Hermit is seeking light. And what the Hermit realizes is, I am the light. I am the light. And therefore, I feel like the Hermit is when your spirituality really wakens up. Some of you, it may be the beginning of a spiritual awakening, and you may just have felt that it was an ending for someone also. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. They call it the Juggler's card, and that could be the case. You could have a lot of balls up in the air, but it means that you're also making a decision. It's coming over the Star card. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. And, it means that the ball is going to be put in your court. So whatever love is coming in, you have an opportunity to say yes or no. But this, to me, is about using your logical mind and not a fear-based mind. And I really don't see anything of fear. And coming into the Queen of Pentacles, and just as an earth sign, it would make sense um, that your logical mind will come into play. We have the Nine of Wands. Dang, I shouldn't have said there was no cards of worry. And then we get the card that speaks about nothing but worry. But the truth of this energy, by the way, another nine, you have three nines. And that could mean there could be three things the doors are closing, but then new doors are opening. So this does talk about worry, but the meaning of the card is unnecessary worry. So I feel like this king or queen, just put yourself, wherever you're at. I feel like what this is saying is you do not have to worry about this king. This king has reached this mountaintop, and I feel like that means that this king has also gone through these nines. And I feel like your spirit guides are saying, as this opens up, try not to put a lot of worry behind it. And listen, if there's a lot of worry, chances are you haven't cleared something, because this could mean that I'm taking worry from a previous relationship and now I'm putting it on this person. And listen, most of us do that, right? It's like, okay, you broke my heart and I don't want to go through that again. But this king, I don't feel like I feel like this is your person, male or female again. I feel like this is your person. Five of Swords. Interesting. Shouldn't have said anything about worry. Five of Swords talks about toxicity, but it also is about change. And it's over your will. And it's interesting because as I read for you, I feel like I'm also reading for your person. So that tells me there's a lot of similarities in your, like, that's what you'll figure out let's say the conversation opens up, when you meet and you start talking, that's probably the first thing you're going to notice, like the similarities. Both of you may have left someone, but again, why? Just look at the image. I mean, this person literally has swords in her back. But it is a five. A five asks for change. Graceful change. But change nonetheless. And because the Emperor is in reverse, I do feel like you've given that change. But that makes me understand the worry even more, because it's saying that someone you dealt with, it must have been difficult. I often feel in the Five of Swords, it doesn't have to mean the people were toxic, but the energy, like the energy together was just toxic. Like the Death card is saying that it's time for a door to close. Well, I'm glad you're closing that door. And I hope you're going to let this new door open. All right, let's keep going. But it does feel like both have dealt with the Five of Swords, because it's on both wheels. But so is the Nine of Wands. One of you may be like ready. Like, if I feel passionate about you, then I'm willing to take a chance, where the other one may carry a lot more fear. So I have a feeling this king's going to have to try to you know, make you feel safe, let that I come with love. I have a feeling this person would say to you, I've dealt with the five swords. I know what it feels like. And that's the last thing I'd want to do to you. So I feel like they are going to ease your mind. We have the Queen of Cups over the Queen of Wands. Weird how I said the Queen. Um, Coming under the Death card. Could be Scorpio. But because this is a love reading, to me, the Queen of Cups. I love the Queen of Cups and the Queen of Wands together. I feel like it's you. But I feel like it is your loving energy and your passionate energy. Queen of Cups, to me, feel like I'm ready for love. But not just any old love. I feel like the Queen of Cups wants partnership. True partnership. And it's coming. So the Queen of Wands would be that part of you who's willing to take at least a leap of faith. And again, it doesn't have to mean that I'm like immediately making a commitment, but I have to tell you, my eyes went right back to the Seven of Pentacles. Your seeds of intention. And then the star coming true. That means that at least two seeds are about to blossom. Oh my gosh. Well, hello, soulmates. Hello, soulmates. And I knew you were a soulmate. I could tell. I don't feel like the Seven of Pentacles nor the Two Wheels would be here if you weren't soulmates. I feel like some of you may have questioned someone of the past, like I thought they were my soulmate. And they could have been a karmic soulmate. Karmic soulmates, remember, there's different types of soulmates, and we have more than one. A karmic soulmate can teach us very difficult lessons. But it doesn't mean we're meant to stay. Learn that lesson and leave. Of course, I'm not telling you what to do. I would want you, or your guides would want you to do it because that's what you're feeling. I feel like this Eight of Pentacles is also answering the fear. And what it's saying is don't put a lot of fear on this new relationship. The reason being is, you may ask, like, how do I know that I won't end up with these swords in my back again? Well, you can never truly be guaranteed because everyone has free will. But the Eight of Pentacles would say, if you're willing to focus on this love, it's only going to grow. And the Hangman, I feel like here you are seeking spiritual wisdom. Some of you may be a spiritual love. And then what shows up? The soulmates. What had to go? The Emperor. The Emperor in reverse. And I'm not thinking Aries, but the Emperor in reverse, very difficult. Me, 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 me. Where if he's in the upright, others. I want to help my fellow brothers and sisters. In reverse, I want to help me. There's nothing wrong with wanting to help yourself, but I mean like in an egotistical way. Then I feel like you're saying, so be it. so be it. That I am not your person. But I do feel like you may have questioned that for a little while, which is fine. Two twos mirroring each other. Two of Pentacles, Two of Cups. Here's the question. Here's the love. Here's the lover. And you sit upon each other's wheel. And the lessons that you have learned, especially because we have the Nine of Wands, the lessons you have learned, this is hard for me to say, but try to be grateful for them. And here's the thing, like once you fall back in love with what I feel is probably predestined, you're not going to think about this. You may think about it for a little while, or you may talk about it with your new love. But other than that, I feel like that energy will just fade away. Okay. You know, I didn't need the soulmates to know that you were soulmates because everything else is telling us that. But I feel like some of you needed to see that. Should I go below? I think I should. I wasn't going to, but something is telling me to go below. The Five of Cups. Interesting. Another five. Change. This is a change you want, though. Five of Cups ask you to ask yourself, what are you focusing on? And in the Five of Cups, I'm focusing on the cups that have been knocked over. The love that didn't work out. Some of you, there could be a little sadness or a lot of sadness. But the truth is, when you decide to make that change, and I feel like that is flipping the emperor over, or no, just the way he is, there are two cups. Two cups. Right there. Look at the stars around them. This is coming below the star card. These two cups are the soulmates. This tells you that what was, listen, don't regret it. Try not to regret it. Because I feel like probably everything was meant to happen. All right. Keep going. Oh my God. Hello, Ten of Cups. Under this king, come on. House of love, the house of harmony, laughter. That's why I felt the Page of Cups was your inner child, but I felt it in a way of playfulness, laughter, joy, unencumbered. You know, the spirit would say to you, don't worry about the outcome. Enjoy the journey because it is about the journey. But for some of you, you didn't need to see this because the Nine of Swords is also there. This tells you the potential. And I have to say potential because the Nine of Swords, some may say no. Not willing to take that chance. And that is up to you. That is free will. And And look at that, the Five of Cups that moves into the Ten of Cups. You know, again, it's like whatever I feel I have lost, you are recouping. But in a, huh, what do I want to say? Like in a spiritual, mm, I just feel love. I just feel love. Feels like the difference of surface love and deep love. Surface love, deep love. And Ten of Cups to me means that, and if we can get rid of this worry, the chances are this is the person you will spend your life with. And yeah, it may have taken time, but listen, the reason I tell you don't regret is because everything has taught you something. Everything that we deal with, we're either the teacher or the student. And sometimes we're both. Dang it. Eight of Swords. So some are going to say no. This is a self-created prison. It's telling us why it was created. The toxicity. This is where we put walls up, thinking that they're going to protect us. But our intuition is what protects us. Just look at the swords around her. Like, anything could reach her. Now, the good news about the Eight of Swords is because it's self-created, that means it can also be uncreated. I can bring these walls down. 8. A new beginning. This, my friends, is freedom. Freedom from those negative thoughts. Freedom from those toxic people. Freedom from what is and wasn't working. Freedom to be you. Don't buy other people's toxicity. Don't buy their words. If like I say this to my daughter all the time. When someone says something to you and it's of a negative, if it's like putting you down, you have to look at the source. You know what I mean? Like, if the reversed emperor is putting me down or using words that go straight into my heart and I bought it, return it. Return it. Because the source, it has nothing spiritual whatsoever in it. Freedom. The freedom to be you. I feel like that's what this king would say. Like, I want you to be you. I don't want you to pretend to be anyone other than who you truly are. Even your broken pieces. I have broken pieces too. And together, maybe we can heal. Page of Wands, there's my risk taker. It's interesting because I often call this person my fool. And it makes sense because we do have, oh my God, what sword I was just going to say, synchronicities, right? Two wheels. Now I feel like we have two fools. We know we have two lovers. This page coming over the queen, again, like the inner child. Look at that, the star. God tells me you both have the same wish. And by the way, the star, the star. Oh my God. The Fool. Here we go. I know not everyone is going to be willing, and that is your choice, right? Like your spirit guides would be like, I can't make them, right? I can't interrupt their free will. It was a gift from God. But sometimes, dang that free will. Because look at the swords here. But each one of these swords, like the Nine of Swords, is saying it doesn't need to be. The Eight of Swords, I can free myself. Five of Swords, I can leave it. I don't have to take it. I don't have to take it. And even the Ten of Wands on the bottom of the deck. You know, it's interesting because in the Ten of Wands, I often feel someone is subconsciously wishing for a tower. And it may mean like there's something I want to end, but maybe fear. Maybe the fear of change. Maybe it's the material things. You know, if I leave, I'm leaving a house, I'm leaving my furniture. Well, I already know what Spirit would say. You'll recoup all that. Don't stay for material things. Stay if it's true. And if it's not true, you know, you just have to ask yourself. And you know, okay, I'm not going to try to talk anybody into anything, but I am going to say, holy cow, holy synchronicities. Not only the Two of Cups, which I knew, but it is showing us the Ten of Cups. It is showing us two stars, two wheels, two lovers. This is what I call divine timing. All right, let's bring in the romance angels. Otherwise, your reading is going to be extremely long. And we'll see if this love moves into your money sector. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Now, do I feel like that means that these are red flags? I don't. I feel like the red flag is with the reversal of that emperor. And the red flags may still be coming. If you know, again, I'm not telling you to leave anyone if you don't want to. You have to make that decision. But I feel like your spirit team, these red flags, they are warnings. For some, it could be the warning that nothing will change. You know, another thing I want to say with that, though, is as you meet this, you know, I'm going to say new love, though I have a feeling it was predestined and this is just its divine timing. Um, I feel like you guys are also saying that if this wasn't good for you, they would make sure that you knew. They would give you plenty of flags, red flags, you know. And what is a red flag? It's that gut feeling. Ugh, this doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right here. Love yourself first. Your self respect makes you more romantically attractive. feel like that's tying right back to the Page of Cups. Whoa. Getting to know you, getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. That's why I was feeling that there will be a conversation. You are going to notice synchronicities. Getting to know each other, that tells me the chances are this is a new love. Now, it can be someone from your past, but if it is someone from your past, you are, like Sam and I, who we got together, like we were together as teenagers, and then he reached out like 40 years later when we were adults, and we had to get to know each other again. But I also feel like where this is where that conversation happens and the synchronicities start to come out. You deserve love. You, my friend, are lovable. Know that. Be that. Be what it is you want. See it in your mind's eye. Manifest it into fruition. Someone's going to love you. And I have to say, I feel a very gentleness here. And I feel like it's exactly what you need. A gentle type of love that will just grow deeper and deeper and deeper. I feel like it is meant to be. I feel like it's predestined. I feel like this is its divine timing. And that is why I'm saying, try not to look at your past with regret. That's what the Nine of Wands is about. I'm looking back to see how much I have grown, the things that I have overcome. Sometimes you realize in the Nine of Wands, you've overcome something very hard. And it gives you a sense of courage. And you don't lose that. Okay. Wow. That is what I call a love reading. All right. Let's move into the money. And when I say money, I'm talking career, your creativity, um, jobs, well, whatever wants to come out. I am happy to be the messenger. Look at how the wheel wants to be stuck. Who knows? Maybe we're going to see it again. All right, let's pick these up. And let's move into your money. And we're using the Tarot Dreams, by the way. I should have showed you. This is one of my Christmas gifts from Sam. You see, it's hard for me to point, like right there, right there. That's my son. That's my son. Sam got me that for Christmas. And he's always in our readings. I know that. But now, literally, he's in our readings. I cried like a baby. Cried like a baby. All right. Money, money, money. Money. Something is telling me it's going to be good. I just feel it. Queen of Cups. Interesting. The Queen of Pentacles, who's looking right over at that Queen of Cups. The Moon. Ooh, you got a lot of watery, dreamy type energy here. The Moon is the card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer, but I don't think that applies here. So Queen of Pentacles back again. My psychic detective. She's looking over at the Queen. It is like it's like you are mixing emotions with finances. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I feel like you're taking your intuition and you're creating from it. Some of you, this may have been also a dream because the moon can be very dreamy type energy. Some of you, I feel like you had a side gig that may be turning into your main gig if you choose. There may be an opportunity that opens up. Again, a side gig that turns into a main. You know, it's like when I started reading tarot, it was like my side gig. That is now my main thing. That's kind of what I'm talking about. The Five of Wands. Drama, fighting. Let's see what mirror or the Four of Cups. Interesting because this talks about discontentment and boredom. Um, but usually within your emotional house. And in the Four of Cups, there is a cup coming in. So it's a cup of fulfillment. This cup is coming from the hand of divine. This person sees it. A lot of times you'll see this person looking at the cups, just like the Five of Cups, like looking at those past cups. But he's looking right at this cup. And the meaning of this card is, well, it is discontentment, boredom within your emotional world, but also about learning to use your spiritual discernment as it relates to accepting this cup. Now, because this is your money sector, there's some type of fulfillment coming your way. And this Five of Wands, I don't feel like this is, unless it was a job, where I did feel in the last reading that for some of you, there was something, like, let's just put it this way. I feel like what you're doing this month, this year, is you're taking your wisdom and it feels like you're not letting anything come in between you and your dreams. I feel like there was something that you were unhappy about, but that's going to change. And it's coming through that cup. And by the way, the Queen of Cups is holding that cup. All right, let's keep going. The Fool. Here we go. Here we go on an adventure. Let's see where the Fool wants to go. And you are the Fool. And that's a compliment, by the way. Three of Wands, optimism. Looking at life differently. through a spiritual lens, through an optimistic lens. This is you really trusting spirit. This is you saying to live in the present moment, right next to the Fool. And I'm going to trust that my blessings, my ships, will come in their due time. Right next to the Fool. And here they are. Wow. How quickly that manifested. The Ace of Pentacles. You know, I love the Ace of Pentacles because, well, first of all, in this image, it looks like Hercules holding up that Pentacles, but that's you. Those are your muscles, spiritual muscles. This Ace of Pentacles has roots. Whatever you do with it, if you nurture it, it takes root. It takes root. Interesting how I said some of you had like side gig. Now I feel like it may be something I do at night that may turn into period what you do. You know, the Ace of Pentacles, it also gives you the way. It means that something is coming into your physical world. We know that it's bringing fulfillment. We already know that. And it feels like what it's saying here is the more that you can be like in the Three of Wands energy, let's say, optimistic, but even thinking about the intentions you're putting out there, because I feel like quickly you're able to manifest them. You know, let's go back to that Ten of Wands. That could have also been part of you laying groundwork. Sorry, needed to change my position. I sit on my legs, then they go numb. All right. See with that, the person holding that pentacle, which is you, is looking at the Five of Pentacles. How interesting, we have two fives connected. Five of Wands, drama, fighting. You know, some people call that friendly competition. I see nothing friendly about it. And then the Five of Pentacles. You know, interesting because this person, it's like she has her hand out. And what is she looking at? She's looking at the Ace of Pentacles. She's ready to receive it. Yeah, Five of Pentacles can talk about something that happened outside of your control. Maybe it was meant to happen. Just maybe. Maybe what's about to happen is going to blow your mind. I know it's going to bring you fulfillment. I know this ace is giving you the way. But you have to understand also the energy that opened up this ace full. You know, whatever happened had happened. The Fool doesn't want to bring that energy along. And then the Three of Wands, optimism. But I mean optimism, or let me just say, with that optimism, it's also believing in your power of intention. Planting those seeds. Some of you, this can be something that you are very, very good at, but maybe you don't know that until you begin. You know, it's like your spiritual team is saying, we know what you've been through. We understand what you've gone through. And we're here to try to help you. These fives, again, changes, right? But some of the changes it has to come through you. In the Five of Pentacles, though, oftentimes it's not our choice. And, it's interesting because I was feeling it in your love sector where some of you're either changing jobs, you could have lost a job, and it certainly could have kept you down in the dumps for a while. But this is telling you there's something bigger, there's something better, there's something that you are going to get excited about. This is about fulfilling you, your fulfillment. Oh, 10 of Cups. Some of you are going to be working from home. You're going to be working from home. Listen, maybe it wasn't your choice, but maybe it was. And maybe both are true. Interesting coming next to that Five of Pentacles. Because it could be something that at the time I didn't really want to happen, but maybe deep down you did. But no matter whether you wanted it or you didn't want it, I feel like it does kind of feel like it was meant to happen. All right, we have the Devil, card of Capricorn. I'm going to slide these up. It's interesting because I love this image. It almost reminds me of here, the Eight of Swords. Now, why? This person is in a cage. Feels like he's stuck. Oh, feels like he's stuck. He or she. I can't move. I'm locked here. But the truth is, the door is wide open. It is the illusion of shadow that makes you feel stuck. Like Spirit is saying, the door is wide open. This can talk about temptations. But again, you're not stuck. It's an illusion. And, I already know, I feel it. Some of you are going to be like, well, I am stuck. Honestly, we're never really stuck. It's, are we willing to take maybe a hard road to get to the easy life? And what I mean by that is change can be hard. I know that. I've gone through a lot of changes. Each one, I feel like what it's doing, it's like raising your vibration. The Fool right above it. Six of Pentacles. Oh my God. Hello, 10 of Pentacles. This is why your guide said, don't rush the reading, Sandy. And this is why your cards are coming out nice and slow. This is the House of Abundance. And by the way, where is it falling? Right under the Ace of Pentacles. That Five of Pentacles, where you think it's over. I can't win. Nothing's going to change. I mean, I do feel you have to change that way of thinking. But I get it. For there is a time period, where we feel that way. I mean, we want to be real. And our guides know that. But look at you recouping tenfold of what you had. Not only that, but the harmony of the Ten of Cups, the abundance of the Ten of Pentacles. And when I say this ace has roots, this is exactly what I mean. This is not the greatest image of the Ten of Pentacles. But what I feel with the Ace of Pentacles, especially because we saw the Seven of Pentacles and the Star, and I did feel like you had more than one wish, more than one dream. But you have two dreams coming true. Look at you moving in from the Ten of Wands, now moving into the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. The house of abundance, the house that love built, the house that my creativity built. You know, I feel like there was just a period of time where I just don't feel you were happy doing what you were doing. And whether I really wanted to change jobs or not, some of you didn't really have an option. And I feel like this is where your spirit guides really want to speak to you. Like, don't think this is the end. You know, you do have to be proactive. But if you are proactive, and again, the Fool is just taking a step forward. It's telling you you have the potential to not only reach a Ten of Cups, but also the Ten of Pentacles. I do feel like some of you are going to start working from home. Or if you've been working from home, maybe now you're going to really start seeing the fruits of your labor. We have the Six of Pentacles coming between the Devil and the Ten of Pentacles. First of all, this is a very compassionate and empathetic energy. This truly is where I want to give back. And maybe I can't give back money, but what I can give is my wisdom, the wisdom of my experiences. You know, this is not letting the world make you cold. Sometimes we just got to change the people we're around. We got to change the situation we're in. Again, the devil's like, you can't change it. Yes, you can. I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Don't buy what the devil is selling. Almost like, you know, for some, like, I feel like, ooh, I'm going to show you the easy road. Don't buy it. Because sometimes the hard road is the better road. And when I say the hard road, I don't mean like you're dealing with like ridiculously hard situations. I feel the hard road means the hard work that you're willing to put in, and then the benefit of that hard work. I can't pick it up. The Seven of Wands. It's in reverse. So the Seven of Wands talks about standing your ground. But look at this person. It's like they have to defend themselves. But what is it mirroring? The Five of Wands. And I can tell you one thing about the Five of Wands. This is the type of energy where if I expect someone to back down, tell me that they were wrong, and I was right, I'm not going to get it. But again, it is the source. You don't need it. You don't need their validation. Whoever they may be for you, you don't need their validation. Sure, you can stay and defend your ground, or you can say, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. And I'll tell you why I think that's what you're saying, because now we have the Six of Swords. This is movement. This is moving you away from the toxicity towards a better life. Six of Swords temporarily can feel difficult. And it's really just for those who have a hard time with change. But you're doing it nonetheless. You know, whether you are physically moving, whether you are physically moving from a job, starting your own baby. And when I say your baby, it's going to be your baby. Like, this is my baby. This is my thing. This is what I created. This is what others didn't appreciate about you. And maybe that part of you was kind of shut down. Then again, because I feel some were very unhappy with what they were like, where they worked. And maybe, again, started something on the side, or you were learning something new. I say new, but again, I feel your wisdom in it. And decide to create a new business. You know, Six of Swords mirroring the Devil's energy. Yes, thank you very much. You now know that you are free. And that's exactly what this person is, free. Free from toxicity, free from those who didn't believe in me, free from those who said you couldn't, you wouldn't, you won't. Well, watch me. Watch me now. Look at that, the Five of Swords. Interesting that we end with the Six of Swords, and on the bottom of the deck is the Five of Swords. There's that toxicity. This is you saying no more. This is you putting down the fight because it's not worth it. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't stand your ground. But what I'm saying is sometimes standing your ground against people who are just going to tell you you're wrong anyway, even though you know you're right. You know, like, let's say this is like people who you're doing your thing and you're very good at what you do, but other people taking advantage of that. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Well, there are a few things you can do. You can stay and fight. I just feel like it's not going to get me anywhere. And I also want to say for those who did lose a job, as hard as that is, and I know it's hard, I feel like this Ace of Pentacles, and by the way, look at that, right in the middle of the reading. And to me, what's right in the middle is the most important energy, the Ace of Pentacles. That has the opportunity to turn into the Ten of Pentacles. You know, I can't help but feel some of you are going to be working from home and loving every minute. I'm not going to say it's not going to take your hard work, but this is work that, boy, am I willing to do. All right, let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. You know, what a reading. What a reading. And, you know, it's interesting because I say that all the time, but it's true. Like, that's just what I feel. This is why I love reading tarot through our guides. To me, I feel like the clarity, well, I guess you'll have to let me know. Look at this, all flipped around. We have the Three of Wands in reverse, optimism, but not here. What's it mirroring? The Devil. Again, feeling stuck. The Seven of Swords, and then the King of Swords. Now, I do not feel this King of Swords is the same king in your love sector. I feel like, I feel this often. I don't know. Well, I do know why. But I do feel the energy of, in a way, it feels like other people, or maybe a person, wanting to claim what you do as theirs, but it's not theirs. And for some of you, maybe you didn't have, there's definitely untrustworthy energy here. And I know that you dealt with that. Well, how could you not have with the Five of Wands there? So who do you want to trust here? You. You. Your intuition. When all of a sudden I have a James Taylor song coming to my mind. I think it might be Paul Simon. Oh God, and I just forgot the song, but Troubled Waters. Could have been Paul Simon. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That's interesting. I just realized my whole deck is in reverse. So I am turning these around. And it's interesting because I really read them like they were in the upright anyway. Because that puts the the Seven of Swords upright. And that is untrustworthy energy. And that's what I was feeling. So when it was reversed, I was like, I felt like it needed to be upright. I'm glad I looked at my deck. Well, hello, lovers. Head over heart decision. And I feel like that's what it means here. But can I just say, because now we have the King of Swords in the upright. Some of you may be collaborating, starting something together. I have picked that up in quite a few readings. And this really has nothing to do with the cards. It's what I'm feeling. This is why it's hard for me to teach tarot, because I really go by my intuition and by, what our spirit guides put in my mind and in my heart. And I do feel like this is the saying, it's a head over heart decision. Then I am noticing the divine masculine, like not here yet. Feminine is feeling his energy. It's almost like she's pulling strength from him. Why am I going down here? It's like she's pulling strength from him. Him or her. And now that Seven of Wands in reverse, where I'm not willing to fight, I'm not willing to put out other people's fires, not there. Like, yes, I will help put out other people's fires, but those who appreciate it, those who really need it, not narcissists, not egotistical people, not those who need to be right all the time. Like, no one is right all the time. All right. By the way, card of Gemini, the lovers. Here's Page of Cups back again. Coming over the Four of Cups. Or there's a cup coming in. Page of Cups is mirroring the Three of Wands. Optimism. Believing in your spiritual team. You know, how do I say this? What feels like miracles. And I feel like you're going to feel that. And what I'm feeling is there's going to be certain things that change. Boom, they just change. But it's not to hurt you. It's to make your life better. And I feel like for many of you, these are seeds that you've already planted. And your guides are just trying to help you move towards what belongs to you, your blessings. And what I was going to say is miracles are really blessings. And blessings are because we've done the work. You know, like in the Eight of Swords, there can be blessings that come in. Can you miss a blessing? Yes. Yes, you can. You know, will your guides try to do everything they can so you don't? Yes. But again, they can't cross your free will. All right, let's keep going. You know, it's interesting because my guides, this is the only reading where they told me, take it slow, Sandy, take it slow. And I get it because I feel like every card really means something. And I just want to remind you that this year, the year of the magician, the alchemist, that is you. You are the alchemist this year. You hold a lot of power. And the seeds you plant this year will be with you at least for the next decade. And how interesting I'm talking about that. And here's the Eight of Wands. What I think about, I bring about. And it's over the full. So not only what I think about, I bring about, but I'm also willing to take that leap of faith. I love that it's coming under the Three of Wands, optimism. That means that these intentions going out there, they're optimistic. And whatever you send out, whatever vibration is sent out, it must be met. You know, some of you, your spirit guides are saying, we know your true dreams. We know your soul's intention. We know you. We've always known you. And different guides will step in for different situations. Like I feel like we had certain guides in the love sector, and now we have different guides in the money sector. Why? Because that's what they're good at. That is their expertise. Speaking of judgment, this is your spiritual team. I just realized we have two Three of Wands. So, judgment is calling you to the present moment. And there's about to be a rebirth. And coming over the Three of Wands, that means a ship is coming in. That means a seed is coming to blossom. Your spiritual team is just trying to make you aware of that. Why? Because you deserve it. Because they heard your prayers. Page of Pentacles. Okay. I feel like the Page of Pentacles, it's so interesting how slow your cards are coming out. I shouldn't say slow. Um, just how they're coming out. Like I really recognize that. So, anyways, the Page of Pentacles to me talks about everything that you've been going through. It has taught you something. If we remember that, like, Earth is a classroom, so to speak, or let me put it a different way, our soul came into this lifetime for different experiences. It's not all about love. It is also about, other seeds, other things that you wanted to manifest. Some of you may have wanted to be the best in your field, and so you will be. But don't even measure yourself up against anyone else. You don't need to do that. That's not how your spiritual team looks at you. Like, oh, look at Taurus compared to Gemini. I'm just saying that. But, you know what I mean? No, they don't judge you, they help you. Someone left a comment. This was a little while back, but she said, my spirit guides must hate me. And that would never happen, ever. Even if you refused every single ace, they would just readjust. But I feel like your spiritual team is also saying that they recognize your heart. They recognize the compassion you carry. And yeah, sometimes we give it to people who don't appreciate it. But so be it. That's their loss, not yours. Page of Wands again. And the Six of Cups over the Ten of Cups. Interesting. This is nostalgia. This is really happy memories. It can talk about someone you already know. Here's the King. Came from your love sector into your money. Some of you, I do feel like, listen, if you're not creating a business together or collaborating, let's say, then you could definitely feed ideas off each other. You can help each other grow. I kind of feel it's beautiful though. And, it reminds me of, I've done tarot in my podcast by myself the whole time. And then I invited Sam into a podcast and I loved it. And you guys, I think, also loved it. So we're going to collaborate more. That's what I'm talking about. Look at the Six of Cups sitting over the Ten of Cups. Happy, 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 happy. Mirroring that Eight of Wands. What I think about, I bring about. Whoa, whoa. Okay, look at this. First of all, the Tower in reverse over the Devil. You no longer have control over me. Darkness, and by the way, that comes from God. The devil does not have control over you. You can give the devil control, or you cannot. Now, that was a little deeper than I wanted to go. I feel like what this is saying is some of you are realizing that this is freeing you. This is freeing energy. Six of Swords. You're on the move over the Six of Pentacles with your spiritual team really pointing that out. Like they're pointing out how beautiful you are inside. And that doesn't mean always, because we are human. That's how God made us, imperfect. Our guides know that. That's why we have a spiritual team. And this spiritual team that we have was given to us before we ever were born here on earth. They were already assigned to you. To you. Nine of Wands. The Knight of Swords. Interesting. Interesting. Because that may be the king. But it could also be an offer. Because the Page of Cups right above it, it's like, it feels like some type of communication comes in, and then I'm going to decide whether I'm going to take that leap of faith or not. But the Page of Wands would. Page of Wands doesn't live by fear. Page of Wands moves and then thinks about it. Oh, did I hurt you? I'm sorry. I was just following my dreams. All right. Hello, Ace of Cups. Hello, love. How about love of your life? How about love for what you do? And how about love from another? All of that, I feel like, applies. All of it. This is you loving life again. Doesn't mean everything's perfect. Doesn't mean there aren't still some hard, things I have to deal with. Doesn't mean I'm not in this boat, right? Temporarily in difficult energy. But look what you're heading towards. The Devil again. Double Capricorn, by the way. Queen of Wands again. And look what she's doing. It's like, I don't know why, but when I see this image, I feel like she's lighting this flame. And I feel like it's a symbol to the universe. And how perfect that this is the last card, the Magician. Literally, this is the year that we're in, the year of the Magician. And the Magician tells you you have all the tools you need to be successful in anything. And those were your experiences. Has a big infinity number, an 8, on the table. It's to remind you that you're not alone. It's to remind you this is not your first time. You've been through these situations in previous lifetimes. This is to remind you that you can manifest the life that you want. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it's worth it. And I'm not going to say necessarily it means it's hard, but hard or easy, this is the ability to manifest. everything and anything. I feel like what it's saying is manifest out of the energy of love and not of shadow. Wow. Okay. I was going to clarify even deeper, but I feel like this is where I should leave it. This is where I should leave it. Taurus, what a reading. Please leave me your comments. Let me know your experience. Let me know if this resonates with you. And, I have to say, those who are willing to share like their stories, just know the chances are you're helping another. Many times you don't even know that, but it's like written on your soul. You know what I mean? Like little check mark. And what I mean is like when we cross over, we have a life review. Those places where you helped, where you trusted in yourself, it's all recorded. So is those who have hurt you. They're going to have to feel it. They're going to feel it. Or they're going to suffer the karma of it, which means they'll either pay this karma back in this lifetime or another, but it will be paid back, or they'll have to keep repeating it. But you know what? My guides are like, let's not concentrate on that. Let's concentrate on what Taurus is building. Taurus is new life. And the love of another, but also a love of life. I do not think it came easy, but I also feel like you're not meant to regret because you have gained so much wisdom. And now, step into the energy of the alchemist. It is you this year. I love you guys. I thank you. And I totally understand now what Spirit was talking about before I even began the reading. Deep, spiritual, but spiritual growth. And therefore, it's like as your vibration increases, so does everything around you. As your vibration increases, you tend not to take the bullshit anymore. I'm going to let that be. I love you guys. I thank you. I thank your spiritual teams and mine. I feel like this reading was so clear. I know not everyone's going to feel that. Some of you, just like your guide said in the beginning, some of you are going to feel like this was a personal reading. And if that's the case, I would love to hear that. But anyways, I thank you guys. I love you. I'll see you next time. I can't wait to see what you're creating. Bye-bye.